Do you really make your own life decisions, or is someone else manipulating your mind? And if you still believe that you can't be controlled, you might as well skip this video. You control nothing. This is exactly what you've been made to believe. Think of all the times when someone convinced you to do something and you didn't even realize it. Was that truly your decision? Or did someone cleverly plan an idea in your mind, which you nurtured and let grow into a belief? 36 seconds you think these thoughts are your own, but you don't even realize that you've already been controlled. If you believe you've always acted out of your own free will, you're living in an illusion. The truth is harsh. The world is full of puppets and their masters. If you're not one of the controllers, then believe me, you're just a puppet. But there's a key difference between manipulators and the manipulated. A manipulator never gives direct orders. They make others act according to their wishes without them even realizing it. A true manipulator never lets their victim know they're being controlled. They don't impose, they will forcefully. Instead, they subtly plan emotions and make the victim believe the decision was theirs all along. Think of a moment when you suddenly changed your mind about something and you couldn't even understand why. That thought was never yours. It was sewn into you by someone else. A simple, seemingly innocent comment, a calculated gesture. This is the real power of turning people into unwitting pawns. There are 3 things you need. 1. Exposure. You can't change someone's thinking instantly. You have to slowly introduce your ideas over time. Repetition. What people hear repeatedly, they start to believe as truth. The human brain is wired to accept repetition as reality. Emotional connection. People don't accept ideas because they're logical. They accept them because they feel them. If you can tie an idea to their fears, greed, pride, or insecurity, it becomes their own. The question isn't whether you can influence someone. The real question is, can you play this game so skillfully that they never even realize they were manipulated? Now the question is, do you want to understand this game? Find the right targets. Don't try to manipulate everyone. Focus only on those who are truly susceptible. The ones who can be easily influenced, who feel lonely inside, who need someone but never admit it. These are the perfect victims. People who believe they make their own decisions, but secretly need someone else to make them for them. Make them believe the idea is theirs. When people feel like they're in control, their resistance disappears. If you want someone to follow your lead, don't tell them directly. Instead, plant the idea subtly in their minds and let it grow naturally. Explain it slowly, step by step, so that they start believing it on their own. This is all it takes to lead them to the conclusion you had planned all along. That's the real game, to play and to make the other person believe that they won. 4 minutes, the dark side of human nature is that people hate being commanded but love their own thoughts. If you play the game correctly, people will protect your plan as if it were their own. The biggest threat to maintaining control isn't that people oppose you. The real threat is when those opposing you unite. So if you want to prevent rebellion, break them into small, divided groups. If a group unites against you, you lose control. But if you can plant seeds of doubt, create small cracks, and turn them against each other, they will weaken themselves. This is called divide and rule. But that alone isn't enough. If you truly want control, you must understand human emotions. Logic influences thoughts, but emotions drive actions. No one acts based purely on reason. They act because they feel something. Now the real game begins. Fear, greed, insecurity, or ego. Every person has a weakness. Identify what drives each individual and use it to your advantage. Don't tell them what to do. Make them feel that. But now comes the real question. What if you're the one controlling the victim? What if this time you're the one pulling the strings instead of being deceived? Who is the real player then? You or them? The difference between winners and losers in this game is simple. A true manipulator knows that power is never imposed. It is planted like a seed in the victim's mind. But here's the problem. We have been taught manipulation the wrong way. We were made to believe that manipulation means speaking loudly, asserting dominance, and forcing one's will on others. But those who truly control the world never need to raise their voices. They operate in silence, moving their pieces strategically. True masterminds compel people to adopt their thinking in such a way that they believe it was their own idea all along. And that's something nobody ever told you. Manipulation isn't about shouting or forcing your way. It's not about arguing or trying to convince someone through logic. It's a psychological tactic, guiding people to where you want them to go without them ever realizing you led them there.